So how does a VPN work? VPN, Virtual Private Network. They're becoming old hat nowadays. Most everybody knows what a VPN is. They've used the internet for any length of time. A virtual private network takes your internet connection and lays on top of it. So if you have Wi-Fi or if you have a wired connection, that's still there and that still works. But every time your computer, once it establishes a VPN connection to some other place, some other computer, once your computer sends a request for a web page, for example, when you click on something, it goes through the third-party computer. So your creature create a virtual private network to a third computer. What happens, this is great until people start breaking the law with them. Alright, so here's how they're supposed to work. I work for a large company. That large company has a private network, and a network they don't want just anybody to get onto, but they don't want people to have to come to an office in order to get on that network. So what they do is they create a virtual private network environment so that people outside the company can connect to the network from their home, from a hotel, wherever they happen to be stuck, and do work on the network as though they were on the network itself, and save time and money and travel expense and all this. Well, the way people use it to break the law, because it is the law now, you cannot violate copyright by accessing videos or music or what have you from a place where it's not allowed. And also, totalitarian governments prevent you from getting out into the real world in order to, say that their government's doing bad things to them. They'll connect to a computer in another country. For example, in order to get on American TV, I know we have a thing here with Netflix. People from other countries will actually use an American credit card. I don't know how they get those, but they will use a VPN to connect to a computer in the United States so that it looks to Netflix as though the request for the movie and the thing they're streaming to is in the United States. Well, that's breaking the law. The law says you're not supposed to be able to do that. They're finally starting to crack down on VPNs. However, I use one legitimately to get back and forth to work. I've noticed that I'm on Comcast, and lately I have been having the hardest friggin' time in the world connecting my VPN, even though everything else seems to work just fine. So I'm wondering if Comcast is getting between me and my network at work and screwing up my VPN, because something else people will do with VPNs is mask their IP address. And what this allows you to do is to connect to the places where you do illegal downloads and that sort of thing, but it makes it very difficult for the authorities to track you down individually. It makes it a pain in the neck. It's not impossible by any measure, but it makes it a little bit more difficult and adds an extra layer of complexity. And plus, real criminals might use VPNs to invade someone's network and do all these kind of bad things. Well, I say this. People use automobiles to break the law. People use sledgehammers to break the law. But they also use those things to get good things done as well. It's just a tool. It happens to be a very effective tool. And if somebody out there thinks they can ban or even decrypt VPN traffic in order to sniff it a little bit better and find out find the illegal activity, they're going to stymie the legal activity that's going on, because I guarantee you my company will tell me I can't do VPN anymore if it can't be encrypted. Because if it's decrypted, or if it's easy to decrypt, that's going to be the end of it, because they want security. They don't want their stuff getting snuck out all over the world. Not like I'm doing anything important, but God knows what could be, what somebody could use that sort of information for. Could be used for all kinds of devious crap. So it seems like every time a decent tool that's actually useful and makes lives easier, makes things possible that weren't possible before comes about, instead of embracing these things, and instead of making networks more secure, instead of providing people with a product they want and are willing to pay for, they try to make the new things coming down the pike illegal and get them banned. And it's a pain in my ass.